Royals baseball from Houston, Texas. We have baseball weather finally as the Royals begin a 3-game weekend series with the Houston Astros. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals are 0-3. The Astros are 3-1 after taking 3 out of 4 from the Seattle Mariners. They have a dynamic offense, so the cure is
paging Dr. Vargas. We've got to have you with that scalpel and make sure the scalpel is sharp, because we all know, especially Ned, how sharp that scalpel can be by cutting the edges of that plate of that corner of those dishes. By last year, they gave him 3 starts. They knew that it was going to be important for him to get out there before he came on this year to make a big difference, to eat up some innings and receive genuine hugs like the one Salvi's given him for a job well done to get that first win before we go home.
Royals didn't get much offense in Minnesota, but Mike Moustakas and Lorenzo Cain had good series. We'll talk more about them after this. Kansas City is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. Mike Moustakas and Lorenzo Cain are healthy, Hud, and they look good in Minnesota.
Oh, I'll say the 2 and 3 guys in Ned's order are getting the job done. Whether it's leaving the ballpark with those nice, easy swings, or getting on base via the walk, or the little chopper, it just doesn't matter. They're getting on, but they've got to have the bottom of the order come alive to knock them in.
Royals and the Astros. Jason Vargas, Mike fires. The first pitch is coming up. Open, and we have plenty of star power in this series. Last year, the Royals won the season series 4-3, taking 3 out of 4 right here in Houston. Game 1 is coming up next. That's because it's 77 degrees, and that makes it a good hitter's night with the wind blowing out to straightaway center field. And a look at the Royals lineup tonight. First night game for the Royals this year. No changes from yesterday, and the Royals really need to get the offense going. All the focus on the pitching and specifically the Royals bullpen struggling to throw strikes. Royals had just 5 runs and 16 hits in those 3 games in Minnesota. Tonight they'll see right-hander Mike Fiers, who had a career year last year. 11 wins, most he's ever had in a big league season. 30 starts, that tied a career high, but he also allowed a career high 26 home runs.
You know, with the roof being open on such a beautiful night here in Houston, that's not a good thing for him. Wind's blowing out, and it carries further when that roof is open. As pitching coach told me today, Brent Strom, I said, what a beautiful day. He goes, well, if they'd close the roof for us, it might help our guy that tonight. May not help him. Pilot to Bombardier. Astros, they got a good defense. Correa and Altuve up the middle, 2 young guys with great range. Very, very high ceiling for these young players to be great players someday. Springer moved from right field to center field this year. To make room for Reddick. Bregman, a young third baseman, has a lot of promise as well. This team is loaded. Gaddis is behind the plate. Pretty good catch and throw guys. Thrown out 44% of runners, but there's Altuve there. Some say future MVP. Finished 3rd in the voting last year. Good player.
Larry Vanover is the crew chief, and the home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez is at first. Chad Fairchild at second. David Rackley is at third. Alex Gordon steps in, and as he looks at the Astros defense, it's a lot more familiar, the defensive alignment, than what he saw in Minnesota. They mostly played him straight up in the 3 games, but Houston will go with the overshift to the right side. And Alex fouls it back to the netting. Alex was 1 for 12 in the Minnesota series. Also reached base when he was hit by a pitch. Into right center field. That's going to roll deep. Reddick has a very strong arm, and he cuts it off and makes a perfect throw to second base, holding Alex to a game-opening single.
Alex wanted the first pitch, but he just had an abbreviated stroke. But on the second pitch, he says he's going to come back in there again. Good, level, easy swing. Like it. Small little leg cock. Can't just put that ball right, foot back down on perfect timing. Now, he probably knows the scouting report on Fiers last season, and the first and second pitches of the at-bats, he gave up a .341 average and 10 home runs. So they're being aggressive on him. Early in the count, that's going to be the key.
Mike Moustakas 4 out of 13 in Minnesota with 2 home runs. That off speed was very high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the reasons he's given up a lot of home runs, not only last season but in his career, is that he's a fly ball pitcher. He pitches up in the zone on purpose. Tries to get you to pop it up. But there's his pitches. Fastball, change, curve, cut, fastball, slider. He's got a lot of them, but mainly fastball, changeup.
And he got the call on the high breaking ball. Mike Moustakas is a bit stunned and says to Larry Vanover, wasn't that up? So it's a high strike zone tonight.
Fly ball pitcher stays up in the zone.
Altuve, diving play. He looked to second base. They'll take the sure out at first. Royals get a runner into scoring position, but Altuve took a hit away from Moustakas.
Sure did. Talked about the range earlier. And what was even more impressive, well, look where he is. He's already playing in that hole over there. He took 3 steps. He wanted to get Alex at second. That'll tell you how confident he is with his ability. Because he's got an excellent throwing arm. And you're right, he robbed him.
Gold Glove winner a couple of years ago at second base. Talking to another Gold Glove winner. The runner at second base. And now Lorenzo Cain.
Look for the Royals to come out early. They've got to be early swinging and get some runs. Put some pressure on the Houston Astros and give Vargas a little cushion early. That was a good pitch to hit, even though it was called a ball. That's a ball right on the inside part of the plate. Short porch and left.
Outside 2-0.
But Locane's got his walking shoes on this year.
Sure does.
He's eyeballing those pitches on the borderline.
5 walks in the 3 games in Minnesota. That'll be backing out of play. One area where the Royals have been very strong and very consistent during this recent run is hitting with runners in scoring position. Always in the top 5 in the American League. They were 4th in the league last year, but in Minnesota, the Royals were 1 for 14 with a runner in scoring position. Paulo Orlando got that 1 hit with a runner beyond first. 2-2.
The Royals, they watched video of the starting pitcher that night, and they know that Fiers can leave the ball up. So the key is not to necessarily swing up. You want to have a little downward swing to catch that ball with that top hand and get some backspin and let the ball carry. You don't swing up on a pitch up. You swing down.
Ooh. Very close to the high breaking ball that was called a strike on Moustakas.
And another thing pitching coach Brent Strom told me today is that Fiers is trying to work a little bit tighter, throw a harder curveball. Seemed like he would just guide his curveball over last year, and the hitter could see it a little bit easier.
And late on the fastball, Fiers gets a strikeout. 2 down.
A little bit up and out of the zone.
So 2 down with Gordon at second base. And now Eric Hosmer, who has very good numbers in his career against the Astros and very good numbers here specifically. 0-1. Our Kubota power stats: .448 last year against Houston, .381 in his career. He hit safely in all 7 games with Houston. However, he has never homered against the Astros. It's the only American League team with which Hosmer has not homered. It looks like he's changed his hand position with his stance. A little more movement, maybe getting his hands a little farther away from his body.
Yeah, he said he's experimenting a little bit with some things right now, but they're all trying to figure some things out. And that's what you do when you leave spring training, go up to a cold climate, come back down. Now they're back into baseball weather again, and you continue to make little adjustments until you get that big hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Hosmer in the postseason has a home run against Houston, not in the regular season, and it's a home run you'll never forget. After that 4-run 8th inning in Game 4 of the division series, or 5-run rather, to take a 1-run lead, Hosmer put it away with a 3-run home run in the 9th. Crack bat, and that's off the netting of the Royals dugout.
Little bit surprised that Haas hasn't swung earlier in the count. So he hadn't even swung the bat until just now. And he already has 2 strikes on him. You know, Dale told me that, you know, that they got to be a little bit more aggressive earlier in counts. And I thought he might get a piece of one of those first 2 that he took. Slight pull on the infield. The Astros are playing him now, and a little bit shading over to the opposite field with the outfield. We saw the Minnesota Twins play him that way as well. Short porches here. Right field's easily reachable. Left field 315 with a tall wall out there. You can throw a homer there.
Close. Myers thought the inning was over. 2-2.
Good spot trying to tie Haas up inside. Slider looked like that, or cutter looked like a possible cutter. And Vanover, you know, he called a high one on loose and been a little bit tight with Haas here. So it takes an umpire a little bit of time to get his gauge down.
You know, there's been a few awkward swings by the Royals in the top of the 1st inning, and the Astros, in taking 3 out of 4 from Seattle, they really didn't hit all that well. Neither did the Mariners. And there's a completely different backdrop now. The so-called Towles Hill has been excavated. Joel will have more on that later on, but it's kind of an interesting, it looks nice, but you got a combination of a lighter green and a darker green, and I wonder if hitters are having any difficulty picking up the ball against that backdrop.
I have to ask him.
Myers gives up a single. The Royals had a runner at second base and 1 out, and he gets 2 big strikeouts. The muscle comes early for the Astros. Their leadoff man, George Springer, has homered 3 times already. pitiful night in Houston, especially compared to what we had for 3 days in Minnesota. Roof open, nice breeze blowing out, and here come the Houston Astros. Offensively last year, 8th in the league in runs per game. They were a dynamic offense the year before, but not as dynamic in 2016. But a dangerous man right away in George Springer. Jason Vargas has had a nice 2.5-year career with the Royals. When you remember his numbers, a 3.6 ERA. He's got a winning record. The Royals have a winning record when he takes the mound. And as we mentioned, he only had those 3 starts at the end of last year. So just like getting Jason Hamill, this is like another free agent signee for the Royals, getting Vargas back.
Better believe it is. Vargas, we all know, when he's on his game, he's using both sides of the plate. He's like a doctor. He likes to scalpel the dish with his fastball. He sinks it. He's got a change-up curve. 3-pitch mix. Quick. He uses a couple different speeds with his fastball at times. A very nice tempo and a competitor. Huge competitor. Good athlete. Knows what he's up against, but he's going to take it like any other start, any other game. You can't change that part of it. You just got to get out there and pitch. Pound the strike zone down. Doesn't want to walk anybody. He knows what's been going on with the Royals pitching, and he's trying to get ahead of hitters. That's what he wants to do. Changeup's going to be a big pitch for him if he's going to win this game tonight. If he's going to get deep in this game, he's got to be able to utilize that pitch down.
Down from 0-2 to 3-2 on Springer. He already has 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. It was in a 4-game series with Seattle. Astros won the first 3, and then Seattle scored 2 in the 9th inning last night to avoid a sweep. And a leadoff walk after the count was 0-2.
Around the horn by Ford, the defense for the Royals. Eric Hosmer, 154 starts at first base. That was the most. He didn't win the gold, but he could have easily, and he'll win another one if he's out there again this year. Coaches all vote on the Gold Glove.
Alex Bregman, Astros first-round pick 2 years ago. Last year he was their minor league player of the year. Was called up in July. The Royals were done with the Astros at that point, and became the first player from the 15 draft to get to the big leagues.
Vargas has a nice move. He'll pick a lot of guys off when they go first movement. Then he picks up his foot. Lots of times guys go, but he's so quick with his throw over there that Haas will have plenty of time to throw him out at second.
Looking down at third base coach Gary Pettis. Astros do so much on offense. They will take their walks. They have speed. They have power. They also strike out a lot. Bregman down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And with an offense like this, as powerful as it is, A.J. Hinch not going to turn his guys loose all that often to run. Springer stole 9 bases last year.
Still 1-2.
Vargas not overpowering. 87 to 90 with the velocity. I like, though, how he's challenging the young Alex Bregman. Looks like he's been a little bit tardy on that fastball of Vargas's. It's coming right after him.
Well, you went next door and talked to the Astros broadcasters about whether the hitters have had any trouble picking up the ball or have complained about it.
Right.
And they said no, right?
That's right. Steve Sparks next door, radio guy, radio broadcaster. I said, hey, Sparksy. I talked to a few of the Astros, but it was their pitchers, so I didn't talk to any hitters. I said, how's the backdrop this year? And he said, no problem. Everybody says it's fine.
I've seen one good swing so far tonight, and that was Alex's base hit. Otherwise, to me, it just looks like swings where the guys aren't picking up the ball.
Well, remember last year when we came here, the new LED lighting, how bright it was? It looks a little bit different this year. They have them turned a little bit more. It's not quite as bright as it was last year, but again, this is the first time the roof has been open. So it's a little bit different. And sometimes this time of night, it might be a little bit off. There's a changeup. That's exactly what he needs. Good pitch. Same arm speed as the fastball, and never facing Vargas before, Bregman looked a little overmatched. And when Vargas is on his game, I don't care if you faced him 30 times, he can make you look that way. He's carving the corners. See right where Salvi's pitching him? He wants to don't make a mistake in there on him. But if you pitch him up like that, just kind of you're looking for a little pop-up, little jam shot. Altuve runs well, be tough to double up.
Jose Altuve with 1 on and 1 out. He did not have a good series at the plate against Seattle, just 3 out of 17 after winning a batting title last year. Inside for ball 1. Here's our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. He won a batting title. He led the league in hits for a 3rd consecutive season. He can run. His next stolen base will be his 200th. 3rd in the league in doubles and 3rd in WAR, which factors in a little bit of everything. And that's accurate because Jose Altuve has many ways to beat his opponent. He's already made a nice play on defense tonight.
Well, you notice the eye black underneath his eyes. Correa, who's on deck, has eye black as well. Now it's different, but it's because of the LED lighting and how bright it is here in this place. And what that black does is it reflects the light away from your eyes. That's the whole idea for the black.
On the ground to Escobar. HUD mentioned Altuve's speed, and the Royals still turn the double play. So Vargas covers the leadoff walk and faces only 3 in the bottom of the 1st inning. Both teams had the leadoff man on in the first inning, but no score as Salvador Perez leads off against Mike Fiers. Not the call. Both teams don't appear very thrilled with the size of the strike zone in the first plus inning. 1 inning plus 1 pitch in the second. Salvador Perez hits it a mile and fair. Second home run of the year for Salvi. And I don't know if that was a strike.
That would have left the Grand Canyon. What a beautiful, short, compact, quick stroke, touching the patch of ace on the minds of the Royals as they're looking for their first win this year. Second pitch. Fastball up. 89. Straight as a string. Pilot to Bombardier. Might have put a window out if it wouldn't hit that part of the thing there. But look, like I said, first 2 pitches, the Fiers last season, they wore him out. 341 with 10 homers, make it 11 now in the first 2 pitches.
1-1 to Brandon Moss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Moss was 0 for 6 in Minnesota with a walk. Two and 2.
Moss a little bit anxious, swung at a few pitches that he said he normally wouldn't as the season gets along. But you know, this kind of start gets everybody a little bit tight. He wants to make an impression.
3 and 2.
We talked about balance today in the Price Chopper live pregame show. Watch and see. On the swing, okay, perfect balance there again. There was no, he didn't fall off to the left or right. He stayed right on it. Good, easy swings. Threw his hands, stayed on top of the ball with that downward chopping swing. See how high that pitch was? That's how you get the backspin on it, by that top hand right at the last minute. That top hand rolls and catches it and puts the backspin on it, and it'll carry out any place.
And now Moss is on with a walk. Salvi hit an impressive home run in Minnesota. The Royals have now hit 4 home runs in 4 games. That's the good news. The unfortunate side of that is all 4 home runs have led off an inning. So they haven't had a chance to hit one with a man or 2 on base. Put a big number on the board.
Something tells me we're going to see some multi-home runs with runners on base. We're going to see a lot of those this year.
Paulo takes a little bit high. 2 out of 10 in Minnesota with an RBI.
Remember, Fiers likes to throw exactly where he is. High fastball. It's not like he's missing up. That's where he likes to pitch. Most of the pitches have all been up there. And his little rolling slider, I haven't even seen a big curve or anything like that from him, but his little slider and his curve are all down. So he's going to raise the eye level of the hitter with a fastball and then try to get him to top it and hit a ground ball with his curve. Here comes an off-speed pitch here.
And it's 3-0. And now Fiers is showing some body language, some frustration. That was borderline. 3-1. Fires fills out the count. The injury to Jorge Soler affected Paulo Orlando more than anybody else. Looked at as most likely a fourth outfielder to play anywhere in the outfield. He has now started all 4 games.
Paulo knows exactly what he's got to do. Make a few plays on defense, but stay up the middle and get some timely hits. He alone is the only Royals hitter with a hit with a runner in scoring position so far this year, which will change.
Still 3-2.
I like how he's making Fires throw the pitches. He took 2 fastballs down the middle, and now he's working the count. He's spinning his pitch count. It's not like the Astros have a terrible bullpen and they're trying to get in the pin. They just want to get some runners on and get a big hit again and give Vargas a big cushion, because the Astros have a nice bullpen.
Another foul ball. It's only the second time the Royals have had a lead in the first 4 games. They struck first on Monday afternoon in Minnesota on Mike Moustakas' leadoff home run. And they chase a pitch up. So there you go. Talking about changing the eye level, HUD. A couple of pitches down, and then Fires puts him away with a pitch up.
And that's, you know, it's good hitting speed, but there's a fine line when it's above the top of that strike zone like that for a hitter. Looks really good. You're gonna have to just have a keen eye, or get a piece of it, foul it off, and wait for the mistake.
Eske hits it a ton to left field and foul.
Just a long strike, tad ahead of it. Way too much top hand. Plenty of distance.
Now pitch down. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eske got his first hit yesterday, a double in the 5th inning, which drove in Paulo Orlando with a tying run at the time. There you go. That's a harder, tighter breaking ball you're talking about. That pitch broke late.
Had a little bit more deception.
Fires keeping a close eye on Brandon Moss. He doesn't have a threatening lead at all over at first base. Blocked by Gaddis. 2-2.
I'm not so sure why he's throwing over there, although he's the last 2 hitters, Paulo and Escobar, they've seen a lot of pitches. I think it's just to kind of break up the momentum of throwing pitches. But Gaddis, I mentioned, he's thrown out 44% of runners. He's got a good, quick catch and throw stroke. Ball's in the dirt. He looked good on that one, but that normally hasn't been his strength. He's a big guy. Hard for him to stay down. But he's much improved than what he was when he first got to the majors a few years ago.
That is hit well to left field and up against the scoreboard. Moss is going to be held at third, and Escobar has his second double.
Looks like to me it was a little wrinkle at 85, and that's all it was. Little wrinkle on the inner half of the plate. Easy pitch to hit. And Esky just stayed right on it.
Oh, buddy Nori out there in left field for the Astros.
He's out there, and I didn't get a chance to say hello to him. I know Joel did, but before the game, when those guys were all running, loosening up before the game, I saw Escobar and Kane and those guys all giving him a big hug out there in center field about 15 minutes before the game. That was pretty special.
Infield in for the Astros. There's Nori, who played a lot of right field for the Royals.
Fond memories he has of wearing the Royals uniform, but I know fans have fond memories of him, and his teammates love him. Infield in. Stay up the middle.
Blocked by Gaddis.
Didn't take long for the scouting report to get around. A lot of fastballs in the spring to this young man right here, and he turned on them. But once the bell rings, here comes the big league breaking balls, and those are the tough ones. So if you swing at it once, they're going to throw it there again until you stop swinging at it. He's going to have to really discipline himself, Mondesi, to make a difference offensively.
That one was up, so a little more hittable. 1-2.
The key is not to try to do too much. His hands are quick. Stay within yourself. And just stay on top of the ball and play it up the middle. Don't try to pull. And if you pull, you're susceptible to missing the breaking ball.
That stayed up. Moss gets in a rundown. Well, not a worst case scenario. Royals have a better chance now of scoring 2 on a base hit. If you assume an out on that play with Escobar at third and now Mondesi at second base.
A little short hop pick there to Altuve. Rusty Kuntz alertly told Mondesi, head to second base.
Well, second and third, 2 down, and now Alex, he singled to open the game. Singled into right center field. And he takes one over the inside edge. Salvador Perez homered leading off this inning. Then a walk to Moss. Paulo Orlando struck out. Escobar doubled. And now after the fielder's choice, second and third, 2 down. On the ground to Altuve. So out of that, the Royals get 1. Royals' 4th home run of the season. All 4 have come leading off an inning. Since the Royals made a McDouble play in tonight's game, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow. Enjoy the McDouble play all season long. 1-0 Royals on the Salvador Perez home run, and now Carlos Correa leads off against Jason Vargas. Flips a breaking ball in for a strike.
Yep. And Vargy, he'll take that double play all night long.
Two. Thinking off speed and late on the fastball. Vargas walked Springer to begin the bottom of the first inning, but then struck out Bregman and got Altuve to ground into a double play.
On the changeup. Changeup will be Vargas's key pitch tonight.
Right where Salvi wanted it. Salvi put down a fastball and wanted it up, and Correa somehow laid off of it. Fisted out to Mondesi. 1 down. Vargas is shooting for his first big league win since June the 8th of 2015. Had Tommy John surgery on his elbow in August of 15. Over 400 days ago. We really didn't expect to see him last year, but the rehab was going so well in the minor leagues that Royals saw an opportunity to get him on the mound, on the big league mound, going into the offseason, and had 3 very encouraging starts, setting up 2017. Facing Carlos Beltran. This will jolt some Royals fans when I tell you that Carlos Beltran is going to be 40 this month. Thinking back to his rookie year 18 years ago with the Royals when he was the American League Rookie of the Year. Broke his back, and that'll drop in center field. Beltran is on with 1 out.
Yep, got him on the end of the bat. Nice little easy swing. But when you hit it off the end of the bat or on your hands, it has a deadening effect to the ball, and it just doinks in there. He'll take it.
Toyota league leaders, 50th all-time in RBIs, and look at the list. Look at the guys in front of him. Joe DiMaggio, Willie Stargell. He has quite a Hall of Fame resume when you start looking at the categories where he's among the elite. It's low to Evan Gattis. Last year Beltran hit his 400th home run, becoming just the 4th switch hitter in Major League history. Chipper Jones, Eddie Murray, Mickey Mantle, and then later his teammate Mark Teixeira joined the list. Pass Vargas, and that's into center field. Back-to-back singles with 1 out.
Salvi's setting up on that corner. Vargas hit the corner, but Gattis was there. He's able to cover it. Big, strong guys want to keep the ball down and away from him just like that. Give him the lousy single.
And here's Josh Reddick. To get used to him in an Astros uniform after all those years with the A's. Vargas is in with a strike. Got a 4-year contract from the Astros this past offseason. Froze, didn't read it right away. Knew he was hit right at him, but didn't read the depth right away, but recovered quickly. And Reddick is out number 2. Another thing that might surprise Royals fans if in their minds they're thinking about a young Carlos Beltran running down balls in the outfield, gracefully running the bases, that he does not move well at all. It might take 2 hits to get him home from second base, but he can still hit.
Better believe it. Proud of him to stay in there. I hope that when he's finished, whenever he wants to end it, that he'll have the numbers that he can get in the Hall.
Two 2-0 on Yuli Gurriel. Our first look at him out of Cuba. Signed with the Astros last year, defected from Cuba in February. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Kid can generate some bat speed, I know that. And if you look at him, he looks like a lot like his fellow countryman Cespedes of the Mets. If you look at that stance of his, he's all wound up, and you know they really use their lower half to load up, and they have an interesting bat turn when they start. You see how it's over his head like that, but by the time the ball crosses the plate, he's able to level that bat out. But good pitch by Vargas.
You better have some good bat speed if you're going to wrap the bat like that. That'll create a lot of torque.
Generate some bat speed. But he's unproven here in the big leagues.
Changeup struck him out. Vargas has struck out 2, and he works around the 2 singles in the bottom of the second inning.
Beauty.
Stadium, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Before the game, enjoy face painters and kids activities at the Outfield Experience, plus player autographs. That's at Signature Sundays on top of the dugout. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases. And the Kansas City Zoo Fun Run. Royals.com/Sunday. Family Fun Day Sundays, and we got one coming up. That'll be after the game with the Angels a week from this Sunday. Royals have a long homestand beginning on Monday, the home opener against the A's. They'll play 3 against Oakland, 3 against the Angels, and then 2 against the Giants. Inside to Mike Moustakas. And by the way, if you're assuming that Royals home opener is completely sold out, you are wrong. There are some tickets available, not a lot. There are some, so if you want to be there, now's the time to get them. Moustakas beats the shift, And he's on to begin the third inning. He lost a hit in the first on a diving play at second by Altuve. So leadoff man on. And that's the third straight inning. The Royals have had a hit to begin an inning.
Just like the way Moose is seeing the ball, and he's staying short with his swing, and especially in that count. When you're down in the count like that, there's no need to try to swing for the fences. Good stroke. Way to put it in play. Use the large part of the field.
Out of the left center field. And I don't think Springer saw it right away. Just like at Kauffman Stadium, it's that time of night right now where it is not bright enough, it is not dark enough, it's in between. The ball blends in with the sky. And Springer's telling the guys on the corners, I didn't see that right away.
Twilight.
Kane is 0 for 2. And now Eric Hosmer, who is a strikeout victim in the first inning. Big rip, 0-1. One ball, one strike.
Oz has improved. Last year he had his best season. Now, I believe he hasn't had his career year yet, but he's able to control that front foot and stay away from the swings like he took the first swing there. You know, a little bit pulling, a little bit off of the ball. You know, continue to keep those hands inside of that ball. He generates great bat speed straight away into left center field.
1-2.
You take a swing like that, it pulls your head. His head's pulling off of it.
You could see where a guy like Fiers would be frustrating for a hitter with those pitches that are coming in up. I mean, that's what you're looking for. Close to eye level, so your eyes are telling the rest of the body we can hit this.
Right. But you know, the great Rod Carew, 7-time batting champion back in his day. He used to face the great Nolan Ryan, Hall of Fame pitcher, and Nolan Ryan would throw those mid-90s fastballs up, and Rod couldn't hit it. So he adjusted his stance, he bent his back leg, and he crouched all the way down. So when he saw that pitch, it was up, and he left it alone. So you can sometimes adjust your stance.
Down to second one, back to first. Gurriel to Correa, back to Gurriel. Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ford, going further so you can. 1-0 Royals on a Salvador Perez home run leading off the second inning. Jason Vargas has pitched around a leadoff walk in the first and a pair of one-out singles in the second. Nori Aoki will lead off the bottom of the third inning. He's the number 9 hitter. Spent 2014 with the Royals. And then he went to play for the enemy. Signed with the Giants that offseason. Alex to the line, and that is a foul ball catch. He's not very happy with that swing. One down.
Yep, there's just about 4 feet from the foul line to the stands right there. Had a nice little walk before anybody got here today out in that outfield, and it's very quirky and can be dangerous in left field. And it's not very much room there, that's for sure. The left field wall here is metal, and you got squares out there where they put that the scoreboard, and they slip the little numbers in there, kind of like the old Wrigley Field and Fenway Park. And see, those are metal strips right there. It's all metal. Very dangerous. And Alex is used to that. I talked to him before the game about those slats and how you could possibly catch a finger in there or crash into it. He said, no problem, I got it down. One of the signs out there that has padding on it. And so he knows where the padding is and where he can go up to the wall and make a catch. But those are all metal. Very dangerous. Not to mention center field over there, 362. If you go in the gap there where the bullpen's sitting out there, it's a big, really a wrinkle in between the left field fence and the alley.
2-2 on Springer.
And of course, there's no Towles Hill this year.
Looks great too. They did a really nice job of making what they have in center field right now look like it's always been here. Two and two on Springer.
But you see, right there with the Geico sign there, that's where the bullpen door is. There's a little quirky bend in the fence right there. And then if you'll go to the end of their bullpen, it cuts back there. You see that spot right there, right where the root, that cuts over. So, you know, there's some interesting lines in the outfield here that can throw an outfielder off.
Springer is down on strikes. And he has swung at ball 4. He immediately asked Larry Vanover if he swung at a strike. Vargas has struck out 3.
Springer's seen a lot of pitches in his first 2 at-bats against Vargas. Walked his first time up. You can see, you as a hitter really want to get up there and jump on Vargas. You see him, you watch him on video, and you're going, man, I could get this guy. I'm going to get up on the plate. Hitters call it bellying up. I'm going to belly up on the dish, and I'm going to take him deep. And then he'll mess with you. Because of the importance of changing speeds. He knows it. He's got to be able to change speeds. Keep him off balance.
And he's made a living of making hitters feel like they just missed him. Just missed him. I'm going to get him next time. Well, they just miss him again. 1-1 on Bregman, who struck out on a changeup. And when you start talking to Ned Yost or Dave Island about Jason Vargas, the word competitor is usually in the first sentence.
He competes. You can tell. I love the fact that he walks off of that mound so firmly after a pitch, holds his glove out, says, give me the ball, gets the rock and walks right back up on that mound, gets on the slab. Dave Island loves his competitiveness.
Alex cuts it off and will hold Bregman to a single. So after being fooled by a couple of pitches, Bregman puts a good swing on a fastball, and he's on with 2 outs. We invite you to unleash your inner crazy. May 5th, the Indians are in town. It's Zuba's Palooza night. The theme ticket includes an exclusive pair of Royals-themed Zubas and a seat for the game. Now, you must purchase the ticket online at royals.com/theme ticket. You have to have a special ticket to get your Zubas when you come to Oakland Stadium on May 5th, which, by the way, will be Joel Goldberg and Sam Abramson's 45th birthday.
Wow.
May 5th.
Huh?
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo?
Cinco de Mayo.
Well, we need to get some Zubas up here so I can model them for the people.
They can't wait.
No, I can't wait. They make great PJs too. And you know what? Sometimes you can just keep them on when you wake up and go to the grocery store in them. People are not going to say nothing about them.
Well, they might not say anything about him. So it's not going to go unnoticed.
I've done that
Unless,
a few times.
well, why does that not surprise me?
You know, my favorite store, I go to Price Chopper. Yeah, the people there, they know. They go, oh, here he comes again. Got a lot of people right now in the household, man. We go grocery shopping there. That's one of my favorite stops.
Vargas got Altuve to ground into a double play in the first inning. He only needs one out here. And a breaking ball for a strike. Vargas also has a knack of, he doesn't throw his breaking ball very often, but it always seems to be the perfect time. He hardly gets a hitter to swing at his breaking ball. So that'll tell you that he picks the right time when he has the hitter thinking anything but curve, and they just give up on it right away because they're thinking fastball change. And he and Salvi really do a good job of finding the right time to throw it. Bregman runs. Altuve strikes out, so no throw needed. Vargas strikes out 2 in the third inning, and he has 4 strikeouts tonight.
Looks like he's throwing 95.
Salvador Perez leads off the 4th, as he did in the 2nd. And in that inning, he hit a long home run just inside the left field foul pole, and that is our only run tonight. This time he gets a breaking ball and hits it back into the seats. Yellowwood is bringing the lumber, and Salvi on the 2nd pitch thrown to him by Fires, got on top of a high fastball and hit it up onto the train tracks and back down into the Crawford boxes. Down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. off of his bat. That ball was traveling at 104 miles an hour. On the ground to Bregman. And that's the first time that Fires has retired the Royals leadoff man tonight. Remember, if you can't catch Royals game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Just log in and stream the Royals. No blackouts. And now it's completely dark downtown Houston, so the lights are in full effect. The roof is open. The wind is blowing out. We still have a long ways to go, but you add all those elements together, and people with the Astros will tell you that's usually a high scoring game, but so far just one run in the first 3 innings. Bregman overran it. He almost looked like the whole time he was in pursuit as if he was expecting it to go into the seats, and it surprised him when he looked up and there it was.
One too many looks. You need to you want to go right to the wall. He's going to learn all this stuff. He's a young player here in this ballpark. Go right to the wall. You need one look and then you go right to the wall and then make your adjustment. And with a guy like Brandon Moss, you miss on a play like that on an out, it could make you pay.
Moss walked his first time.
Not this time.
To Gurriel, to Fires, 2 down. Mike Fires joined the Astros 2 years ago, coming over in a trade with the Brewers, and shortly after coming to the Astros, he pitched a no-hitter. And he no-hit the Dodgers right here at Minute Maid Park, the first ever no-hitter in this ballpark's history. His catcher that game, somebody who just wore out the Royals the last 3 days in Minnesota. Jason Castro.
But you know, you got Gaddis and you got Brian McCann. You got a left-handed hitting power catcher and a right-handed power hitting catcher.
You're talking about Gaddis improving as a catcher, and he was sent to the minor leagues last year. And when a guy who's been around as long as Gaddis is gets sent to the minor leagues, you think that's a huge demotion. But the reason they sent him down is they wanted him to catch more. His manager A.J. Hinch was a catcher, so they were looking ahead to this year and wanted him to have more experience at that position. And down to the minor leagues he went. Down go the Royals. 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. 3.5 played. Salvador Perez's home run gives the Royals a 1-0 lead.
holding the powerful Houston Astros to no runs. Look what he's doing. He's mixing up his pitches. He's keeping the ball down. He's got 3 nice pitches. He's working it. He's carving the corners with the scalpel. Look at that. He's up in the zone, down. He's on the corners, and he's punched out 4 already. Holding them right there, steady as she goes. Powerful lineup. Follow Salvi's lead. Oh, beauty.
Carlos Correa also led off the second inning, and he popped out to second, followed by Beltran and Gaddis.
Same arm speed as the heater. And he's extremely frustrating to hitters, Vargas is, especially when he's on top of his game right now. Look where those 2 pitches are. Down.
Good tempo. Keeping the defense on its toes.
And that's the name of the game. I've been timing it tonight. All of his in between pitches, 10 to 15 seconds.
Out to Mondesi. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Remember, Royals fans, StubHub is your ticket out to once-in-a-lifetime experiences, from Kansas City Royals games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub connects you with the world of live. Your ticket out. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Royals. Carlos Beltran had a broken bat single into center field in the second inning. Say he's going to play a little bit in the outfield, but mostly the Astros DH. This is the right outfield for him if he's in left. And with the short left field wall, doesn't give him a whole lot of room to cover. .315 up the left field line, and as HUD was describing an inning or so ago, it does fall back to .362 in left center. 2 up, 2 down. Beltran's 1 for 2.
Notice the Astros haven't really squared up anything fair. The best they can do is square him up foul. So that tells me he's putting it right where he wants it, and when they put it in play, it's off the end of the bat because of the change of speed. Tricking him.
Gaddis into center field. The cane is right there. Vargas has set down 8 of the last 9 Astros. It's a beautiful night in Houston. 1-0 Royals. by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Panera Bread, Panera caters for every group, every size, every meal. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. I-10 on its way to San Antonio, and you can take that all the way to Los Angeles.
A lot of traffic here in Houston. Believe it.
When I see this Escobar now around here and also in Kansas City, we would say I-10.
Okay.
And you and I have spent a lot of time out in Southern California. It is called the 10.
Yep.
0-2 on Esky. He doubled against Fires in the second inning. That's the one inning that's probably bugging the Royals right now. They got a home run from Salvador Perez, then Moss walked with one out. Escobar doubled. The Fires only allowed the one run.
Now they're going to have to put that all behind them and move forward. Esky do all he can here now with 2 strikes to stay off of that high fastball.
Breaking ball stayed up. Bregman to the hole, turns all the way around. Gurriel came off the bag, but he tags out Escobar. And now Fires has set down the last 6.
Bregman is able to play this nicely. Went and played back like that. Took a little crow hop, and now Gurriel. Watch how he tags him here. Dangerous play there. Look at, a lot of times first baseman, you're going to jam your elbow with that. You're going to get a hyperextended elbow if you come off a tag like that, and he's not used to playing first base. You can tell he's in a little discomfort now. He's mainly a third baseman, second baseman.
Obviously shows bunt. That's where, as we've described before, Eric Hosmer will, instead of coming off the bag in the line, he will come off the bag into foul territory to avoid the collision.
I've seen a lot of dislocated elbows by right-handed first baseman.
2 quick outs for Fires on the top of the 5th inning. Kia puts us in the driver's seat. And we mentioned Fires with some career numbers last year. This did not hurt at all. He had the 5th best run support average in the American League. How about Rick Porcello? Stay hot. You win all those games, you win the Cy Young. Oh, and by the way, his offense was scoring over 7.5 runs for him.
You gotta love that. And that's one of the reasons. It makes your record look good. You can have a terrible record, but a 2.7 ERA, and you won't win the Cy Young because it doesn't look good.
Gurriel to Fires. 8 in a row knocked down by Fires. Lower third coming up for the Astros in the bottom of the 5th. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com to get free Aquafina when the Royals get a save. And they hope that's tonight. Vargas bends a curve in for a strike to Reddick. Vargas has set down 8 of the last 9. He has allowed 3 singles and a walk. Reddick flied to right his first time. That's below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike.
First time Vargas has shooken Salvi off. Shaking him. Whatever you
shaking him.
Shaking him. High heater. Change that eye level. Jam shot. Uh-oh.
It fooled Mondesi. Mondesi thought he had to go to his left when Reddick made contact. And I don't know if the ball changed direction or not, but when he tried to plant his feet, he was suddenly on ice skates.
That's exactly what it looked like. Oh, you can now check out Mondesi there. I mean, I don't know what he was seeing. I mean, he was off by 5 feet.
The only thing I can think of is, the bat was broken. And as Gurriel takes a wild swing and misses. If the bat was broken, a left-hand batter, if he hit it right off the very end of the bat and that ball had a ton of side spin on it, maybe Mondesi thought, okay, he's pulled it. But I'll bet that thing was spinning like a top.
Obviously, he misread it because of the direction and the way it was hit. But he missed badly.
Gurriel struck out on a changeup his first time. Tried to get him to chase a fastball up and away. Yuli Gurriel. On the ground to Moustakas. Fair ball. One hop. Mondesi. Nice play to get the force at second base. A.J. Hinch goes up the stairs of the Astros dugout. And now he's up against the clock. No challenge. That's Alex Cora, his new bench coach, on the phone. Remember, one of the new rules, and if it's not hard enough on the team's replay coordinators, but they have 30 seconds to come up with a decision. Now, it's 30 seconds, and then the umpire will approach the manager and ask, what are you going to do? So you can probably squeeze out a few more seconds after that, but no more standing at the top of the step and waiting 45 seconds or a minute. Let's put pressure on the replay coordinators. Meanwhile, the limit for the replay officials in New York is much longer than that. They have a lot more time to go over the replays, up to 2 minutes sometimes. Out at second, and second double play for the Royals tonight. Nori Aoki rounds out 4-6-3.
Roll him up. The doctor is in session, making his pitches, executing when he needs to. Nice turn.
1-0 Royals on a second inning Salvador Perez home run. Mike Moustakas leads off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is David Novotny from Overland Park. And if the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, David wins $100. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, David wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals.
Load him up. Come on, let's go. Vargas pitching like mad tonight. Get him some runs.
And all the Royals home runs in the first 4 games have come leading off an inning. Moustakas is 1 for 2. Royals tonight against Fires got a single from Gordon to open the game, and then Moustakas hit one to the hole on the right side, and Altuve made a diving play to throw him out. That prevented first and third and nobody out. And Fires worked out of that first inning. Perez hit the home run in the second, leading off the inning. The Royals later in that inning got a walk, a double. Fires pitched out of that. And now he's set down the last 8. 3-1.
Moose just told himself, throw me one more of those. Right there. Same pitch. Wasn't. Good job. Some base runners on there.
There's second walk. 4th time in 6 innings. The leadoff man has got neither a hit or a walk. Now Lorenzo Cain. He struck out in the first inning and flied to center in the third. Stopped by Gaddis, keeping Moustakas at first base.
There's some Royals chants out there. I hear them. Fans here.
One of the greatest moments in Royals history happened right here. Popped him up. And it's Correa for the first out. There was no chance you were going to hear any "Let's Go Royals" chants during Game 4 of the division series here. The roof was closed, even though it was the same weather as we have tonight. They were screaming here until this happened. Carlos Correa off his glove. The Royals at that point had scored 4 to tie the game. They would add 1 more to take the lead, and then Eric Hosmer hit the 3-run home run in the 9th inning. And this place went from a madhouse where you could hardly hear yourself think to a 43,000 person library. And then you could clearly hear the "Let's Go Royals" chants.
It was a 15,000 people library at the Power and Light District where Joel and I work. It was not looking good. People were bummed. It was quiet there. But you know, I've had a chance to study that. The spin on that ball that Morales hit to Sip, and then the Sip tipped it with his glove, and when it hit, it took off like a super ball. And he misjudged it. See how he caught it? He tried to catch it behind him. If he catches it out front with his hand extended, he probably would catch it, step on the back, throw to first, and we're done.
He also looked like he was starting the double play before the ball hit his glove, too. Because that could have been an inning-ending double play, and the Royals would have still been down in the inning. But 2 runs scored. Hosmer drops it into right center field. Moustakas moves up to second base. I asked Ned Yost, where does that inning rank as far as thrilling innings in your career? And clearly he said it was right up there. And then he started bringing up some other ones. 9th inning of Game 6 of the championship series with the Blue Jays. That was the famous shot of George checking his pulse, his heart rate, which summed up how everybody was feeling. And Wade Davis got Josh Donaldson to ground out and send the Royals back to the World Series. Salvador Perez just got underneath it. Rory makes a play in left field. Salvy's 1 for 3. Ned also mentioned the 9th inning of Game 5 of the World Series when the Royals were down against Matt Harvey, and Hosmer's dash from third to tie the game. So plenty of thrills, but that was the most unlikely. And 6 outs away on offense from the season being over. And the Astros, in my opinion, they look like world beaters at that point. I remember thinking to myself, I'm sitting right now where I was when I was doing that game on radio in Game 4 and thinking to myself, you know, this season's almost over for the Royals, and who in the world is going to stop the Astros?
Right. Seems like there's always one play on defense. One play that's a game turner. And a game changer.
And the Royals' theme of keep the line moving was on display perfectly in that inning. Nobody tried to do too much. Everyone just chipped in, got their hit, got the momentum going.
Frenzy hitting.
One and one on Moss.
What a good time for Moss's first home run as a Royal. Give Vargas a little breathing room.
Moustakas opened the inning with a walk. With 1 out, Hosmer single, and now 2 down. Two and 1.
Fires has a little bit of extra rotation, a little extra spin. You know, we talk about the spin rate on his fastball this season. Adjust his grip with Brent Strom, the pitching coach, and it appears like it's thrown a lot harder than it is. So it's rushing up there on the hitters.
2 and 2. Count. Runners will be going. Paulo Orlando is on deck. Gaddis is going to go out. Talk about what they want to do with Moss here.
You can see with the roof open, there's wind blowing out there today, which doesn't help Fires any, but so far he's been able to do a pretty good job of keeping the ball in the yard outside of Salvy's second home run of the year. That's going straight out. And Salvy just missed in this inning another home, 3-runner. That's what the Royals need.
Runners go. And Moss walks for the second time. And 2 walks in the inning for Fires. And they're loaded up for Paulo Orlando. 90 pitches for Fires, and if we're in June or July, that's not a red flag, but Fires is making his first start of the year, so 90 pitches on April the 7th might feel like 100 or 105 pitches.
Oh, he's good and rested. This is his first start of the year, and AJ Hinch only threw him once a week. He had 7 days in between starts in spring training, so they rested him.
Did he go? Paulo's not going to be happy about that. Alfonso Marquez says he went around. Sonic slam inning. David Novotny in Overland Park, bases loaded.
25 grand, David. Think about it.
Paulo has 1 in his career. Chase one down and out of the strike zone again.
Okay, Fires now has him in trouble down the count. Two pitches that weren't even close. Paulo a little bit anxious.
Just made contact.
Probably just stay with it. He might go even a little lower.
Royals are 1 for 19 to begin the season with runners in scoring position. Paulo has the one hit, by the way. And last year, he had the highest batting average among the Royals with runners in scoring position, 314. So far, he's having a very defensive at bat. One and two. Remember asking a hitting coach, hitters who hit well with runners in scoring position, what do they do? And the answer was nothing. He said nothing. Yeah, they don't get caught up in the moment. They're the same guy as they are when there's nobody on base. What happens is to hitters who change with runners in scoring position. Yep. They get caught up in the moment. I'm sure Paulo knows right now his team needs a big hit. And he wants to be the guy to deliver it. Try to get him with a fastball up.
Yeah, battling. Catcher's interference. We'll take it. Any way you can get a run, gotta have it. Yeah, Moose. He's going to give you a free walk home. Yeah. Paulo had a strange look on his face, and then he said, "Hey, look, my bat hit his glove. They'll take it." That'll be an error on Gaddis.
No plate appearance for Paulo.
He's up a little bit close. Let's see. Couldn't hardly see.
Hard to see, but you can hear it. The home plate umpire, you'll hear a little click before contact.
Okay,
Paulo turned immediately.
Yeah, and Gaddis tried to pull his glove in, acting like he didn't do anything wrong.
Let's see if we can hear that little click. Sounded like the Royals dugout heard it as well. Check swing. So thanks to the catcher's interference, the Royals add a run. But they leave the bases loaded. 2-0 Royals to the bottom of the 6th. Scoreless innings from Jason Vargas. That's our story so far. Let's go down to Joel.
Well, back down by the Royals dugout, but have had a chance to move around the ballpark, get the different vantage points, and you guys are right. It's something special out there in center field without Tal's Hill. Interesting, a lot of the folks around here were upset that they got rid of it just because it was sort of their thing for a while. Now they get out there, there's some new restaurants, some cool things to do out there. Seems like everybody is liking it. Hey, Hud and Ryan, I'll tell you this much. It's still pretty far out there. 409 feet, that's how far by StatCast Salvador Perez's homer went. So that's what it would take to get it out. One guy that's really happy that Tal's Hill is gone, probably speaking for all center fielders, Lorenzo Cain was a very happy man today. As he said in the past, Tal's Hill 1, Lorenzo Cain 0. Cain won't have to deal with that anymore.
Well, it took him a long time to do something about it. And it was a hazard running up the hill, and then if you had to run up the hill, throwing downhill and having to make a long throw downhill. 3-1 on Springer.
Yeah, we'll show you some shots to the hill in case you forgot. Look at that. Lance Bergman.
Beltran. Springer trying to hit a 2-run home run with nobody on base.
Yep, you know, that's the kind of, you know, that's what Vargas will do to you. He'll tease you. Fall behind 3-0. Now he's back into it. '86, change in speeds. Crafty. Seen a lot of fastballs tonight. 15, just 4 changeups. And if you're seeing that many pitches on a guy and still don't have anything to show for it, it tells you Vargas wins.
Again.
My goodness gracious. How about that changeup? Beautiful. Just perfectly placed. Scalpel-like precision. The Fox Tracks Missouri Lottery will show you that changeup was well located. Everything was down. The guy with that kind of power going to keep that ball down out of the zone. 5th strikeout.
All swinging. And 4 of the 5 with the change. Alex Bregman. That's one of the 4 Astros hits. He singled in the 3rd inning. Vargas struck him out in the 1st.
Just great pitch efficiency. Look at that. Change up, like we said early, going to be his pitch, and it's exactly what it's been. 80th pitch thrown now. Here we go.
One and 2 on Bregman. 81 pitches, so he's in good shape there. Ooh, right where he wanted it.
Oh, just a little bit inside.
Out to Eski. 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. All right, the first T-shirt Tuesday is coming up April 18th against the Giants. That's to the first 10,000 fans. First 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a T-shirt featuring the Haas, courtesy of the Kansas City Steak Company. To view all T-shirt Tuesday designs for the season and to get tickets, go to Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday. Jose Altuve has grounded into a double play and struck out. And just 3 for 19 to begin the year.
Altuve.
Salvi on the hand.
Yeah, he's swinging out of the zone a little bit. He's anxious. Got off to a slow start. Salvi's all right.
Salvi's buddy. He and Altuve have known each other their whole lives.
Yeah. Like a hit. High on the thumb. Altuve, I asked him before the game today. I told you I didn't talk to a hitter. I lied. I said, hey, how about your workout regimen? Did you still train with the big tractor tire? He takes the tire and he pushes it, you know, and that's how he develops his drive. And you know, he's not the biggest guy, but he's got a big heart and he's very strong. Great plate discipline. And some say he's the humblest superstar you'll ever meet. Very humble young man. Easy to talk to, approachable, full of life, a lot of energy. One of baseball's young superstars.
5'5", Jose Altuve. Strike 3 with a fastball.
Yeah. Vargy carving him up. Altuve, you got to go. Scalpel.
Brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. And by T-Mobile. Only T-Mobile lets you stream, post, and share all things MLB. With T-Mobile One, unlimited data means unlimited baseball. Astros make the first Chevy call to the bullpen. Tony Sipp. There's some left-hand batters coming up. First he'll get Mondesi, switch hitter, then the left-hand hitting Gordon and Moustakas. I was showing you a couple of innings ago the error by Carlos Correa in Game 4 of the Division Series in 2015. Tony Sipp was the pitcher throwing to Kendrys Morales.
Yep, they got the book on Mondesi. Change up first pitch, slider second pitch. Not overpowering, 88-93 with his fastball. Has confidence in his secondary pitches and probably throw another changeup right here.
Going to be a tough play. No chance. And Sipp knew it. And Mondesi can fly. So he avoids the strikeout, being down 0-2. And anytime he puts the ball on the ground, he's going to be a handful.
Yeah, that's a pocket ball. There's only one player in all of baseball that could make that play, and he's pitching tomorrow for the Houston Astros. Dallas Keuchel. Let's see, third baseman Bregman. He has got to call the pitcher off on that. You've got to be vocal all the way on that. Run him off of it. Let him know before he even gets 5 feet from the ball. He had a better play on him, but likely of them getting thrown him out was 0. They had good speed.
Great save by Gaddis. Otherwise, you've got a runner at second base, nobody out.
Sure was. Now, you know,
chance to get his body in front of it.
Yeah, no, it's excellent athleticism there. And of course, he knew what was coming, so it made it a little easier. But still, big guy as that was a good pick. Big contrast of styles now. Mike Fiers out of the game. Sip in, Sip's very fast, very quick coming out of that delivery. Fast moving.
2-0 on Alex. This is the 5th time in 7 innings that the Royals have gotten a hit or a walk from their leadoff man. Twice that leadoff man has scored. Salvi's home run in the 2nd. Moustakas walked and scored in the 6th on a catcher's interference. So Gaddis was hit with the air, making it an unearned run for Fiers. Fiers gives up 2 runs in 6 innings. 1 of those runs earned.
Easy move to pick up.
And Mondesi's running. Pitches a strike, and it hit Mondesi. Did he get him on the helmet? Correa thinks so. He's asking Mondesi if he's all right.
Okay, great takeaway. High leg kick. Gave Mondesi plenty of time to get there. Went right into the base. Went in there hard. Late slide gets you there quicker. Glad everybody's okay. First back for Mondesi. Nobody out. Alex wants to try to pull him over if he can. If not, get a little elevation. Try.
Memory serves, did Alex hit the ground ball against Sip that put the Royals ahead in that 8th inning?
Sure did.
After the Correa error.
Exactly what he wants to do here if he can. If not, you know what? You can get him over and in by hitting the ball to the shortstop. This is a little routine ball. Just roll it out there. You'll have an easy base hit and a ribby.
Mondesi to 3rd, and he's in there. Well, there are 2 rules that Mondesi broke unless you have his world-class speed. You don't want to make the 1st or 3rd out at 3rd base, and you typically don't want to run with a left-hand batter up there because the catcher has a clear throwing lane.
Game changer with that type of speed. You don't care. You're very confident. Love that about him on the bases.
3-2, and now the infield's in.
Somehow, some way, the Royals have got to find a way to get that run home.
It looks like Gore running out there.
No, you know what? Just think of what he's going to be like when he gets confident at the plate. When he starts to be a little more selective, getting a little more idea about the league, he'll be a superstar. Believe it. Takes some guys longer than others offensively.
Low, and Alex takes a walk.
Saw a lot of pitches. Sip's a little frustrated with home plate umpire.
And now Brent Strom, one-time Royals pitching coach. Well, Royals fans, if you're looking for a great deal on tickets, now you've got the chance with Price Chopper. Price Chopper Steal a Deal. Now until midnight, you can purchase View Reserve tickets for the Royals matchup against the Angels on April 14th for just $8. Tickets can be purchased at Price Chopper locations or at Royals.com using the coupon code STEAL, which is appropriate with Mondesi zipping around the bases in this inning.
That's just, it's just pure athleticism and confidence, knowing I can do it. That's fun. When you have that kind of speed, you go when you want to go. Forget about all those unwritten rules. Infield's still playing in. Nobody out here. They want to be careful here. Now A.J. Hinch is shifting him over. Actually, that's Richie Dower. My bad.
Another former Royals coach.
Richie's in charge of him. He's moving Correa, the shortstop, up to play Moose to pull close to second base. Good guy, Richie Dower. Look at him. He's a little bit concerned there. He's thinking, I don't know if we got him played right.
They're going to come to the plate, and Mondesi's out. Medio says, hang on a second. They want to take another look. The throw beat him, but it wasn't the cleanest tag.
Well, you know what? It could easily be turned over, but I guess they're going to play on. And that's twice now. With runners in scoring position, Royals hitters have checked their swing. Ah, man, that's close.
Does he want to slide a little farther away from home plate there?
Yep, you would want to. You want to sweep yourself way outside and sweep your hand across the dish. That's a good try. It's not a good swing.
Jandel Gustave in the Astros bullpen. Lorenzo Cain is coming up. An action-packed MLS Soccer Sunday comes your way this week on FS1 as Sporting KC takes on their Western Conference rival, the Colorado Rapids, at 6 p.m. MLS Soccer Sunday this week on FS1. Yandel Gustave runs it up there at 96 to Lorenzo Cain.
He's got 100-mile-an-hour in him.
Had some trouble on Wednesday against Seattle. 17 pitches and he walked 3.
Yep. Little command issues. Power slider to go with that hard heater. There it is.
Cain is 0 for 3 tonight. He has Gordon at second base, Moustakas at first.
little emergency swing there, but you know, it's a tough situation here. When you're down 0-2 against a flamethrower like this, you just want to stay short with your swing. The outfield is playing in. They're not expecting Lorenzo Cain to put a charge in any of them. Good arms in the outfield.
Addis wants to go out and have a chat. Gustave was a one-time Royal, sort of. He was taken in the Rule 5 draft in December of 2015, and last year spent part of spring training with the Royals. Picked up from the Astros. The Royals tried to put him through waivers. He was claimed by San Diego, so then he was with the Padres for a while, and then ended up being returned to Houston. And while with the Royals, he says he was influenced quite a bit by Edinson Volquez and Yordano Ventura. 1-2. And you mentioned control issues. Two years ago, he was walking almost 7 per 9 innings, but last year he cut that to 3 for 9 innings, and that's what got him to the big leagues. Back up the middle and under Altuve's glove. So no out, and the bases are loaded.
Good job by Lorenzo, keeping his swing nice and short, putting the ball in play. Nothing wrong with that at all. And, you know, tough play by Altuve. I mean, they could easily give Lorenzo Cain a hit, but as good as Altuve is, I don't know if they will. Now, a little too hopper to the backhand side. It's not exactly a routine play. Pulled up just a hair too soon. Correa alertly trying to pick up, and they give him a hit. I love it. Not surprised. That's a tough play.
Yeah, you know, and you brought up a good point, because as Altuve was going for it, you saw Correa run by, so I don't know if Altuve is going to throw out Cain there, and then there's nobody to flip to at second base.
No, look.
So it looks bad when it goes under his glove, but where was the play?
There wasn't one. That's a hit. And Alex did a nice job of just staying right there on the bag. Jersley helped him. Jersh so far is doing a good job this year. He helped him get that one run the other day. Jersley, when he's held Paulo and then sent him again. Jersh's heads up. He's right on his game.
So that goes down as a hit with a runner in scoring position, but did not score a run, and now they're loaded up for Eric Hosmer.
How about a blast? Fair. Royals having a difficult time. Someone's got to step up. Looking for a bus driver to drive Jason Vargas in his first start in over a year. Oh, excuse me, since September. He had 3 starts, my bad. Doesn't matter. He's pitching a heck of a game. Fun to watch him pitch.
Two infield singles and a walk and an out at the plate. How about the Royals doing some damage in the 7th inning for a change?
Gladly.
And how bad was the 7th inning in Minnesota? Minnesota scored 14 runs in the 7th inning. Jason Vargas, he may only need 2 runs tonight the way he's pitching. But a little cushion would be nice. Two and two.
Don't need to swing hard with Gustave. Let him supply the velocity and the power. All you got to do is just put a little meat on it, find some green grass out there. That's what he's looking for. Especially now, even in the count 2-2.
.100 miles an hour. And even if it's right down the middle, that's about all you can do with 100 miles an hour.
And after you foul off that pitch, you can smell something burning at the plate, I guarantee you. That friction off of the leather baseball, that wooden bat. That's some kind of hop. That's all you need. You face a guy like that. There's just easy contact.
Up the middle. Double play. Royals have left 9 on base in the first 7 innings. But Jason Vargas is really on a roll tonight. Given up 4 hits, no runs in his first 6 innings. Time for our sprint trivia question. Name the 3 American League Rookie of the Year winners born in Puerto Rico. 2 of them are on the field tonight.
I think so, and I know the other one. I think. I'll just throw a guess out there.
All right, let the folks think about it.
Okay.
One of them might be hitting right now. And another one might be on deck. Close. Inside to Correa. He's popped to second and grounded to second. Correa, Beltran, and Gaddis coming up. Middle of the Astros order. Starting to work now in the Royals bullpen. Base hit to a wide open right side. So Correa has really been working on that right side, and this time it pays off. And the Astros have their leadoff man on. Vargas is at 92 pitches.
Well, that's what you want to do. You want to not try to do too much. And what we've been seeing from some Astros tonight is over swinging and trying to hit a huge home run, and you're not going to do that to Vargas. So Correa got it going there. Let's see Wood and Moylan.
Beltran, right center field, long run, Paulo Orlando, and it's down. Correa scores, and the tying runs at second base with nobody out. Both right-hand batters going the other way. Well, here's the adjustment, middle of the order, 3rd time through.
Yeah, certainly not any fault of Vargas, although that ball is down the middle. But see, they're making the adjustment. They're not trying to do too much against him.
They're sitting on a changeup.
Yeah, they're starting to, we've seen him now 4th time around. Actually, they're still in their 3rd time through. But, they've seen enough pitches from him to know what he's trying to do. Plus, they're talking in there amongst each other, and they're kind of figuring him out here. It's not Vargas's fault one bit. Royals, if they put together some good at-bats with some runners in scoring position, and had a little bit better focus, he'd have a 8-run lead by now.
Heck of a night. Holding down this offense in this ballpark with the roof open to 1 run in 6+ innings. Pretty darn good.
Better believe it. Nice job. Excellent job. One heck of a job for the Royals in his first start of the season. He towed the slab. He knows how powerful this offense is of the Houston Astros. He kept it underneath their bat all night long. Had some punch outs. Had a few plays on defense. One double play turn for him, but you know what? Vargas was carving up the plate, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And the competitor that he is, I saw him on the mound and in the dugout apologizing to Ned for giving up the 1 run. He did a heck of a job. Now it's up to Peter Moreland and company in this bullpen to see if they can hold down these Astros the rest of the way. Sinker, slider.
There's a slider for a strike to Gaddis. Moylan might be on to face just one hitter with Reddick on deck. And Travis Wood continues to throw in the Royals bullpen. Look out. The Astros, a year after Major League Baseball suggested extending the nets they have above their dugouts. That was beyond the netting of the third base dugout. And it appears that everybody's all right.
Sweep that slider away here for him.
Struck him out, and boy, has Moylan come up with some big strikeouts coming out of the Royals bullpen.
Oh, fearless. Beautiful job. They're not wasting any time coming at him. That breaking ball starts at the hitter Gaddis like that. He's not sure whether it's going to break or not. You can tell that little click, little hesitation in his swing right there, and had him off balance. Excellent job. Pretty good numbers there so far.
So he will stay on to face Reddick. There's an open base and a right-hand batter with power on deck, and Gurriel. Reddick singled and flied out against Vargas.
It's kind of like the situation in Minnesota the other day. Same deal. He had a lefty come up and he just pitched around him. And then he struck out the righty. Got him out.
That was a notable RBI for Carlos Beltran. We showed you that he was one RBI away from tying Joe DiMaggio for 49th all time, and now they are tied.
Congratulations. Tying Joe DiMaggio on ribbies, that's unbelievable. I feel pretty good about myself. I was tied with that hitter. Man.
That's about all that Reddick's going to see. He's not happy with that. He probably thinks that was never a strike. 2-2.
Yeah, I would say that definitely snuck in the back door.
Or was still in the backyard.
Hello. Thank you. Now, try him with a high heater. See if you can get a swing and miss.
Got him with a fastball.
Ooh, my. Now we thought he might pitch around Reddick, but that call by Vanover that was about 4 inches off the plate got him back in the count. Moreland, and then he just stayed away from it firm. Look at all those. He wasn't going to come in there one bit on him. Excellent pinpoint accuracy by Moreland. And this is a great test for the Royals bullpen. I know it hasn't been pretty the first 3 games. Bullpen's having some troubles, but this is a great test now. And Dave Island's going to come out, have a little chat as they're going to go to the pinch hitter there, Gonzalez. Marwin's a pretty good player. They're going to talk about it.
You have a left-hand hitter on deck. And Nori Aoki. Travis Wood is ready to go. And if we get that far, A.J. Hinch still has a right-handed hitting outfielder on the bench, Jake Marisnick, so he would still have another move if we get past Gonzalez in this inning. But the Royals would rather have Gonzalez bat left-handed against Moylan than right-handed against Wood.
Yep. And had the Royals offense supplied Vargas with some runs tonight, Vargy would still be in there. But didn't happen. It's baseball. Base hit may not score Beltran. You talked about it earlier. It might take a couple hits to get him in.
Backdoor slider 0-1.
The fact that Moreland has not overpowering stuff, but has pinpoint control so far early this season with his fastball and his breaking ball. He's got a couple different kinds, and he locates well with them. And you can be successful coming out of that bullpen with just facing a few hitters with just 2 pitches. And the deception of the sidearm.
That's where Salvi wanted it.
Marwin Gonzalez is a very good utility type player. He can play and start anywhere in the infield.
Moylan pitching Gonzalez carefully as he was Reddick. Although at the very end, Moylan just challenged Reddick with a fastball and struck him out.
You know, A.J. Hinch is not having a problem going with Marwin Gonzalez. He's hitting .429 with 2 homers already in the season. So he's going right to his guy off the bench. He's a hot swinger.
3-1. Marlins have now scored 15 runs against the Royals in the 7th inning. Marlins trying to hold it right there. A walk. Marlins not that upset. He was pitching in very, very carefully. He was hoping that Gonzalez might chase one out of the strike zone, and now Ned pops out. Well, Travis Wood will come on, and we'll see if A.J. Hinch will counter with a move of his own. So Moylan certainly did his job, coming on with a runner at second base and nobody out. He gets 2 outs. And now it's Travis Wood. Presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, with Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Kevin Cedergren, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. How about Peter Moylan?
How about it, Pete? Way to go. Get that rock, focus, throw strikes just like you want. Got the first guy, Gaddis, no problem, 3 pitches. Got to go. Came back and got Reddick. Had him talking to himself, going back to the dugout. Go grab some pine. Good pitching right there. Royals being tested by their bullpen here in Game 1 in this final series before the home opener on Monday. Can they come through here for Vargy?
2 on 2 out. Nori Aoki stays in and hits it to left field. Alex is there to end the inning. So he got a hittable pitch. He hit it hard, but the inning is over, and the Royals still lead by 1. field, and he takes over at first base after coming on as a pinch hitter for Yuli Gurriel. All right, let's answer our sprint trivia question. I have 2. You say you have 1.
I think.
Carlos Correa, Carlos Beltran,
And Carlos Baerga. 3 Carloses. Am I right? Nope. Sandy Alomar. It's okay. Don't look at me like I ruined it. I thought I had it.
let us down.
Oh, well, they won again. Let them have it.
You had the right team, though.
Yeah.
Baerga and
Okay.
Sandy Alomar Jr.
Thanks for making
Yeah,
me
there
feel
you
a
go.
little
Yep.
better. Yeah. Feel a little better now. Not a lot. Feel a whole lot better if the Royals can hold on. Oh, get down there.
It will drop. Salvador Perez is on to begin the top of the 8th inning, and that's his 2nd hit. The Royals have had the leadoff man on, it seems like, all night. And that is the 6th time in 8 innings they've had either a hit or a walk to lead off an inning. 2 times that man has scored. They've also left the bases loaded a couple of times tonight.
Did you know that that was Sandy Alomar Jr.? You should have said it.
No, you know what? I know now as I think about it. But when you said I know the other one, I stopped thinking.
Well, look, you know how
I
small
figured you had it.
You know how small my brain is. Yeah. We'll get over it.
1-1 on Moss. He's been on base twice with walks, and he's grounded out to first. Now the third baseman Bregman moves to the shortstop position. We saw a little bit of this with Minnesota. There is, as the shifts continue to evolve, now they're not just shifting for one hitter, but they will shift depending on what the count is.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm a little surprised that Altuve is not in shallow right field.
See Correa coming in at second base. He's reminding Gustave to come set.
I want to keep the double play in order. That's why he's not out in right field. I mean, keep a guy in the vicinity.
Full count. Paulo Orlando is on deck.
Moss, the lone remaining everyday Royal without a batting average. Ready for one now. The walk.
Astros are screaming that should have been a strike. Crowd feels the same way. Gaddis held it out there to allow Larry Vanover to reconsider his call. But Moss walks for the 3rd time. And now 2 on with nobody out.
Oh, it looked pretty good. Moss had a little hesitation there. Wasn't sure. Vanover's had a tough night.
He has not, whether he's making the right call or not, according to that grid, he has not been calling low strikes at all tonight. If anything, he's been calling higher strikes.
Yeah, and tough. What can be even tougher here for Paulo is getting a bunt out. Let's see if they ask him to do it. Bunting, a guy that throws 100 miles an hour, is not easy.
Swing away, and he missed a fastball at 98.
And if he doesn't bunt, I don't blame him. It's percentages might be a little better if you swing away on a guy like this and try to bunt it. Because, you know, you could pop it up, and it's just so hard to be able to put the bunt down where you want it when you have a split second to see it. 98 miles an hour, you have a little better chance to hit it than bunt it.
Another thing you have to factor in too, the base runners. Even if he gets the bunt down, Salvador Perez is not one of the fastest Royals, so he's probably not going to score on a ground ball, and it would have to be a pretty deep sacrifice fly for him to score.
Yep. And at 95 plus 11 pitches, he's see if he can get a hold of one with a short, compact stroke. You're right, Ryan.
Line foul. It's been a tough night tonight for not only Jose Altuve, but fans wearing Altuve jerseys.
That guy had a spring in his glove. Had a little right in his glove and it popped right out. Paulo has the right idea.
Still alive. Paulo was at the plate with the bases loaded and 2 down in the 6th inning. The Royals were building another rally, and down in the count, it looked like he simply just fouled the ball away, and then catcher's interference was called on Evan Gattis, and that's how the Royals got their 2nd run. Mike Moustakas coming down from 3rd, and that, along with a Salvador Perez home run back in the 2nd inning, accounts for the Royals offense. Houston didn't get their run until the bottom of the 7th. Hanging in there. Outside. Royals have had opportunities tonight. They had a runner at 2nd, 1 out in the 1st. They had runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out in the 2nd. Bases loaded in the 6th. They did get 1 run there, and they had the bases loaded 1 out in the 7th. So they've had chances. Paulo having a battle with Gustave, and it's 2-2.
He might just win it. 7th pitch coming.
Pretty good idea what Gustave throws to this point.
Exactly. 8th pitch coming. More pitches to see, the better advantage the hitter has.
Field. Reddick throws it all the way to 3rd, but Salvador Perez wasn't going anywhere. That's the 1st out. We have a full day of baseball tomorrow on Fox Sports Kansas City and FS1. FS1 has the Yankees and Orioles starting at 2 p.m. and then the Royals continue this series with the Astros, with our coverage beginning at 5:30 here on Fox Sports Kansas City and streaming on Fox Sports Go. And we've got a heck of a pitching matchup tomorrow. Danny Duffy and Dallas Keuchel. First and 2nd, 1 out to Escobar. He doubled in the 2nd inning. Escobar, 2 big outs for the Astros. They've had several because the Royals have had base runners everywhere, but 2 in particular outs on check swings. And Escobar with a check swing and the bases loaded in the 6th inning, grounded out to end the inning.
Tells me they're a little tight. Confidence is a huge factor for even these veteran World Series players, and they're playing tight up there at the plate with runners in scoring position. They're getting a little bit hesitant about their ability or what pitch they're looking for. They're indecisive. It happens. We're seeing it.
Well, even in the World Series years, the Royals go through stretches like this. This is the flip side of being so aggressive at the plate. It's not a lineup known for long counts, looking at pitches. I mean, they're just up there swinging. Sometimes they get their pitch, sometimes they don't. 1-2.
When a guy like this guy right here, Gustave, gets you down in the count like that, and he's got a wicked power slider, that's all you're going to see. He's going to make you try to swing at it. Maybe you can doink one in there, but you know it's going to have to be well placed to score Salvador Perez in second. Messi makes a mistake and Esky doesn't miss it.
Off of Gustave's glove, and the bases are loaded again for the Royals tonight. It is the 3rd time in the last 3 innings that the Royals have the bases loaded. And Escobar did a good job of avoiding the strikeout.
Yeah, he did. Just put it in play. And that's what they do, just like you explained.
Gave him a base hit.
Yep. I have to think Gustave. See if they can come through. Infield in.
In the last 3 innings, the Royals have had 10 base runners, and they've scored 1 run. Bases loaded, 1 out to Mondesi. And it gets away from Gaddis. Here comes Salvi. So their last 2 runs have come on catcher's interference and a pass ball. And that time it looked like Gaddis got a pitch he wasn't expecting.
And the Royals say thank you. They'll take it any way you can get it. Fastball crossed him up, obviously. He ducked, never saw it. Salvi, good read.
So back to a 2-run lead. 1-0 on Mondesi. Infield is in for the Astros. Now Moss is at 3rd base and Escobar is at 2nd. Two and 0. Tough night for Gaddis.
Has been.
But he's really acting like a pro. He's not hanging his head. Going out and realizes he has a lot more experience than the guy in the mound. The guy in the mound can't be looking at his catcher hanging his head right now. He's just out there trying to lift up Gustave. He's behind in the count 2-0 with 2 runners in scoring position. 2-1.
KJ Hinch has Brad Peacock up in their bullpen. A right-hander.
popped up on the infield. Fair ball catch, 2 down.
Wow.
Now Gustave and Alex Gordon. Alex is 1 for 3 with a first inning single and a 7th inning walk. Somebody eventually is going to get a big hit with men on base, and that entire Royals dugout is going to exhale.
Right.
And there's a drive to left field. Aoki's back, and there's the hit. Alex Gordon drives in 2 with a double. And the Royals lead is 5-1.
There's the exhale. Short, compact swing. There you go. Control it. Gustave trying to get ahead with a fastball. Alex says, not on my watch. Very short and nice. Yeah, head down. Great position there. Guided it right over Aoki's head. He had no chance on contact. That ball was bolted out there. 2 ribbies, a little breathing room.
Royals get their first runs in the 7th inning or later.
Way to go, fellas.
3-run 8th inning.
We might see Herrera tonight.
I think you're going to see Kelvin Herrera if the Royals score 17 runs in this inning.
Exactly. Get him out there.
Soria is getting ready for the bottom of the 8th, top of the order coming up. One and 2 on Moustakas. On base twice. He scored the run on the catcher's interference back in the 6th inning. That'll be out of play.
This is great to see Moustakas not over swinging. He's swinging so easy so far this year, and he's connected. He looks like he's in mid-season form. Moose does.
That's the first hit that a Royal has had in the first 4 games that has driven in more than 1 run.
Good. Glad to see it. We knew it would happen.
Gustave gets out of it, but the Royals get 3. The first run comes home on a pass ball, and the big hit the Royals have been waiting for in the first 4 games of the season is turned in by Alex Gordon. Through the 8th inning, had 10 base runners and only 1 run. Then a pass ball, and then Alex Gordon gives the Royals some breathing room with a 2-run double and a 4-run lead with 6 outs to go on defense. Panera takes us around the league. Tigers beat the Red Sox. Tigers are 2-1. Texas on its way to their first win. They were 0-3 like the Royals. Minnesota is on its way to improving to 4-0. They're at Chicago. Cleveland leads Arizona. Francisco Lindor has homered. Cleveland would be 4-0 if they win. Joakim Soria made his season debut yesterday. He walked 1 and struck out 2 in his 1 inning. He'll get Springer, Bregman, and Altuve.
See if he can work that fastball in there anywhere from 90 to 95. Slider curve change. Go right after him. And no free passes. Continue the good mojo of the bullpen tonight. Good pitching. Moylan, Wood. Filling in for Vargas, who did an excellent job going 6 strong innings.
Two and 1 on Springer. He walked leading off the first inning and then struck out in his next 2 at-bats against Vargas. Jason Vargas gave up 1 run in 6 innings with 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. Deep into right center field. Kane, Paulo Orlando, Lorenzo Kane says not tonight.
Springer tipped his helmet, and Lorenzo Kane tipped his hat right back to him. He had a good rip, good swing, stayed inside of the ball, and Kane robbed extra bases. Didn't have enough to get over the wall, but might have hit that yellow line.
That didn't go right into the pocket of the glove.
Great play. Out of way, Kane. Covered a lot of ground.
Inside to Bregman.
I didn't know if he's going to get a chance. I thought that was going to leave the ballpark.
That's a good spot because the fence comes in compared to the rest of right field. So instead of falling back like a lot of ballparks do when you get into the gap, the fence comes in to make room for the Astros bullpen. Three 3-0 on Bregman. He's 1 for 3. Walk. Soria is asking about the location. Played umpire Larry Vanover, and Salvador Perez, I think, is going to jog out there and say, let's not mess with the umpire right now. We've got a 4-run lead.
Right. And, you know, there's no need for any body language out there. Get the ball and throw it. Command and strike zone and throw strikes. That's what he wants to do.
Jose Altuve is 0 for 3, and he's made 4 outs in his 3 at-bats. He grounded into a double play in the first. He has struck out twice, and he's had a ball go off of his glove on defense. Soria with a quick pitch. He got a glove on it, and it turns into a double play. A shot by Altuve, and if Soria doesn't get his glove on it, that's a base hit into center field. But the Royals turn it into a 1. Well, first Kane makes the great play, and then Soria with his infielders, and the Royals show that elite defense in the bottom of the 8th.
Just in the nick of time.
And all Lorenzo has to say is 2015. Here's the upcoming schedule for the Royals here tomorrow and Sunday, and then the home opener on Monday. Off day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with the A's. Then the Angels are in town. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. Garrett Richards is on the disabled list for the Angels, so the Royals don't have to worry about him. He has a right bicep strain. And the Angels already had big problems in their starting rotation, and they could at least rely on a good start from Richards every 5 days. He has a torn ulnar collateral ligament. And that's the ligament in the elbow that, when it's torn, requires Tommy John surgery. But depending on where the tear is along the ligament and how big it is, some pitchers now are experimenting with having it repaired instead of having the Tommy John, and the recovery is a lot quicker. Kane takes a leadoff walk. Seth Maness, who pitched for years with the Cardinals, is in the Royals organization now, and he's one of those pitchers that's trying to come back from a more minor procedure. Here's Brad Peacock giving up the leadoff walk to Kane here in the 9th inning.
Hoping his little procedure will keep his elbow sound, and he can make a difference in the Royals bullpen later when he gets in his condition.
Because you're talking at least a year when you have Tommy John surgery. And that's just getting back. Being who you were before the surgery is maybe a year and a half. So now you're talking about cutting that down to months rather than a year plus by repairing it instead of having another ligament transplanted into the elbow.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that that procedure is successful. They'll continue to do that. Get the guys back on the field sooner.
Hosmer's 1 for 4. And that's to the gap. Springer on the run and runs it down. Springer read that right away. Ball gets away from Gonzalez, but the Astros are on it, so Kane stays at first. That was a great read in center field by George Springer.
Haas thought he had extra bases when the ball left his bat. Amazing how quickly those outfielders can close the gap and make all that green grass look pretty small. And you know, after locating Rob Springer, he says, "All right, I'm going to get on my face for any of you guys' balls that come out there." Haas did not tip his helmet to Springer, by the way.
Salvi has scored twice. He's hit his second home run, and he has scored on a pass ball. Royals offense tonight has consisted of a solo home run, a run scoring on catcher's interference, a run scoring on a pass ball, and then the biggest hit, Alex Gordon's 2-out 2-run double to give the Royals a 4-run lead. 1-2. Alvin Herrera getting ready for his season debut, and this is a good spot for him to come in because while he is well rested, you're always worried about a little bit of rust when you haven't pitched for a while, and it will not be a save situation for him, so he's got some room for error.
Yeah, but they got to get him out there.
Again, it looked like he flinched. It didn't give him the call. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's had both teams chewing on him tonight.
He has. Brad Peacock fastball slider change. Fastball got to be coming right here. Challenging.
Kane's running, and Springer is back. The wind's blowing out that way, and it drives into the warning track, the middle of the warning track. Kane's back to first, 2 down.
Salvi did not get all that ball. You could tell by the sound. Look, he got a little bit off the end. He hit it 400 feet though. He's got. If he barreled that, that would have went out of here. Still a long way to miss hit a ball.
All right, let's get Moss on the board with a home run.
Okay.
Had the right swing and the right pitch. He has walked 3 times tonight and scored one of the runs. He and Escobar scored on Gordon's 2-run double last inning.
And with Lorenzo's walk earlier in the inning, gives him 6 in the season. Pretty good.
Kane delayed steal, and he's in there.
Caught them all off guard. That's what that's designed for. 1, 2, 3 big shuffles. And nobody home. See, that's what it's designed to do. Since they don't break on contact, you know, when the pitch goes home, and usually the infielders, if the guy's going to steal, they'll look when the guy starts his windup and starts his pitching. But if he takes the crow hops, it looks like he's not going, so they take their eye off of him, and that's how the delayed steal is successful. We've seen Rusty pull that off several times with some of the Royals runners. Kane, Paulo does it. Mondesi doesn't.
Mondesi had one yesterday.
He did though, and he's not used to it. You could tell it's a little bit. He was a little short with that last little shuffle.
I saw something toward the end of spring training I don't think I've seen before. Royals were in Tempe playing the Angels, and the Royals had a delayed steal of third. And I saw Rusty Kuntz. We were doing the radio broadcast, and I saw Rusty in the parking lot after the game, and I said, Rusty, I think I saw something I've never. And before I could finish the sentence, he said, a delayed steal of third. Moss is down on strikes. The inning is over, and the Royals are 3 outs away from their first win of the year. In 2017, the Royals lead 5-1. Royals baseball is always live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Customize at-bat to feature your favorite team and stay connected all season with live scores, news, stats, video highlights, radio broadcasts, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. Kelvin Herrera with a 4-run lead. So his first opportunity is a non-save opportunity. With a chance to be on the field when the Royals shake hands if he can get through the bottom of the 9th.
And I think he would be just fine with that. A little bit of a cushion.
He had 26 holds as Wade Davis was the closer, and then finished with 12 saves. He'll get Correa, Beltran, and Gaddis. 96 by Correa.
We'll see it. Mid to upper 90s. Might throw 100 at some time. But great changeup, slider. 3 beautiful pitches. He's worked hard.
Herrera has the advantage. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one in 98. Royals have passed the baton when it comes to closer. First it was Herrera in the game passing the baton to Wade Davis, who had passed the baton to Greg Holland. And now the baton has gone the other way. Greg Holland is closer, passing the baton down to Wade Davis, who has passed the baton down to Kelvin Herrera, who has his first shot at being a big league closer on opening day. Not a save opportunity here or there, but anointed closer on opening day.
Yeah, you know, it's nice to see Greg saving games again with the Colorado Rockies. At least he's back in there. But
Escobar fighting the wind a bit. That thing changed direction a few times on him.
Oh, that'll bring a smile to his face there. He's not used to that. Roof open tonight for the first time, and then maybe since the Royals have played in here. Pretty stiff wind. And it wasn't, you know, going back to your conversation, it wasn't like Holland forfeited his closing role because he wasn't doing the job. He got hurt.
Right. Just wasn't much fire left in that arm. Beltran has 2 hits. He drove in the Astros run in the 7th inning, and that made it a 1-run game. And then he was the tying run at second base with nobody out, but Moylan and Wood got the Royals out of that inning. 40 years old, Carlos Beltran, in 2.5 weeks. Now an old veteran in the game. You know, the last time the Royals started the year 0-3 was 2001. Carlos Beltran was the Royals Player of the Year that season. And one of his teammates was A.J. Hinch, who is now his manager. A.J. Hinch was on that Royals team. Beltran, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rich Dower, Astros first base coach, was the Royals third base coach on that team. And the Astros current pitching coach, Brent Strom, was the pitching coach on that 0-1 team. Foul ball. Coming up after the game, it's Boulevard Royals Live with Joel and Monty. We hope to have a Joel interview from the field, possibly a Salvi splash.
Yeah, how about it?
We'll be talking a lot about Jason Vargas for good reason. Giving up 1 run in 6 innings, striking out 6. Peter Moylan was the Royals fireman again, coming in the middle of a mess. Lorenzo Cain made a big play on defense. Salvador Perez is homered, but Alex Gordon turned in the biggest hit of this young season, turning a 3-1 game into a 5-1 game as the Royals scored 3 in the 8th. Hosmer, and he's got time. Beltran doesn't run like he used to. 2 down.
Nice job. You know, Herrera, so far, at least in this outing, his first of the year, doesn't look like he's overthrowing it all, which is good. You know, he's got plenty of stuff. He doesn't have to throw 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. You know, anything 95, 96, 97, any of that range is powerful enough with his excellent changeup with just those pitches, but that slider there has made a big difference in him. And talking to Brandon Moss this spring about facing Kelvin Herrera, he said when he threw that, brought in that 3rd pitch, that slider, we had no chance.
Dave Island's done a nice job with a few guys on this roster who had more loopy breaking balls.
Yep.
Herrera, Danny Duffy, Matt Strom. Little adjustment, tighten the pitch up. Oh my. That ball may not come down in Houston. Deep in the heart of Texas.
He's out in front of that one.
Wow.
I don't know if I've ever seen anybody get out in front of a Herrera fastball like that.
Well, you have to start swinging when he lifts his front leg.
Right. Went out of the stadium. All right.
Paulo Orlando window is there, and the Royals have their first victory of 2017. Alex Gordon provided the big hit. 2-out, 2-run double. And a good night for the bullpen. For the first time, the bullpen is scoreless in a game. But this was the Honda play of the game, no doubt.
Why not? Wow, long time in coming for these world champion players. The core's all there, but you wouldn't know it because they seem like they were a little bit tight, a little nervous. Hopefully that'll loosen the fellas up and they can get back to playing Royals baseball. Get them on, get them over, get them in. A bloop and a blast, and there's a smile finally from the skipper, Ned. Way to go, Ned.
Royals scored 5 runs in the 3 games in Minnesota. Tonight, they scored 5 runs. And Jason Vargas gets his first win, his first big league win since June of 2015. 1 run over 6 innings with 6 strikeouts. And then Moylan and Wood getting the Royals out of the 7th. Soria pitched the 8th. And Herrera takes care of the Astros in the 9th. And the Royals have now won 4 consecutive games here in Houston. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
All right, been waiting for our first post-game interview. Alex Gordon here to do the honors. Gordo, how much just of a relief as you get that hit in the 8th inning, maybe even collectively, to be able to drive in those runs and get this offense going?
Yeah, we might have been pressing a little bit with the men in scoring position, but you know, with 2 outs, second and third, Moose behind me, I knew they were going to attack me the way Moose was swinging the bat. So I just wanted to be aggressive, you know, hit something hard on the line, and was able to find a hole.
Weird game too, right? With the catcher's interference and the pass ball. I mean, I don't know how you describe it or if you've seen anything quite like tonight's game.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's the way baseball is. You know, it's just it's a weird game. Sometimes you go up there and hit the ball hard and you get out, and sometimes you hit it soft and you get a hit. So you hit the catcher's mitt and you get a run. So it's weird how it works, but it's why we love it.
All right, take it any way that you can get it. I don't see any salvia here at all, so maybe it's good. You don't mind not getting the splash. Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. Okay, a couple of final things for you. How about the catch by Lorenzo Cain? What did you see?
Oh, amazing. Came out of nowhere. You know, I thought it was Paulo's ball all the way, but then Lorenzo Cain, being the athlete that he is, made that amazing catch, and you know, I was tipping my hat right away. And I don't think the Houston fans liked it, but I know all of us loved it.
Final thing, Jason Vargas back, really looking like he's officially back. You faced him from the other side. I know it's not fun. How great was he tonight?
He's a competitor. If you don't know Jason, he goes out there and, you know, gives it his all. He's a bulldog. He's not going to back down from anybody. Great pitcher. Not overpowering stuff, but works both sides, off speed, keeps you off balance, and like I said, he's a bulldog.
No salvia splash, but a win. Congratulations. We'll see you back tomorrow.
We'll get it soon.
We will get it soon, but staying dry tonight. Said it's cold down here. I don't know about that, guys, after Minnesota and the bats finally heating up. Up to you.
Well, you got to give Salvia a break. I mean, it's been since late September of last year. You know, he's out of his routine.
Yeah, look.
I'll bet somebody's reminding him in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah, maybe he had some other interviews or something going